Okay, approval of the agenda. Do we have any, Vicki, do we have any amendments or tabled or withdrawn items?
Mr. Chair, there are no amendments or tabled or withdrawn items on the agenda.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes. Approval of the minutes of July 21st, 2022. Any discussion of the commission? Modifications? If not, can I get a motion?
A motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Thank you. Consent agenda. Findings of fact in the matter of case number 22-5030, High Desert Relief Conditional Use Permit. Is there any discussion or a motion?
I move to approve.
Okay, do I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Carries, motion carries. Okay, let's get to the new business. 2022 Tasuke Community District Plan. Robert Grego is going to do the presentation. Please proceed whenever you're ready, Robert.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission. Robert Griego, the Planning Manager, here with Nate Creel. He's the Community Planner. For this item today, we are going to, you have in your packet the Tasuke Community District Plan 2022 document. It should have been in
Robert, we're having a hard time hearing you up here.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me step closer to the mic. Once again, Robert Griego, the Planning Manager for Santa Fe County.
Better.
In your packet is the item in front of us, which is the 2022 Tasuke Community District Plan. Nate Creel, Community Planner, will be handing out the hard copies for you to review, but it is in your packet. Included in your packet is also a memo outlining the procedures and the community plan process that has been undergone to date. I would ask IT to see if they could pull up the PowerPoint presentation that we have for you. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. I just want to make sure that.
So yeah, our PowerPoint presentation will be coming up. He's bringing it up in the back there. But just to inform the commission, the Tasuke Community Plan process was initiated in 2019. There was a request by the Tasuke Valley Community Association that went to the Board of County Commissioners, which identified the need to update their plan. The process for the community plan was initiated in accordance with the Sustainable Growth Management Plan and the Sustainable Land Development Code. There is an existing 2013 Tasuke Community Plan. That community plan would be replaced by the updated 2022 Community District Plan. So the community has spent 3 years working to develop this plan. It has undergone a community review process And so we have some of this information on the PowerPoint, which will be brought up. The document, yeah, there you go. Thank you. So next slide, please. So as I stated, community district plans are developed in accordance with the county's Sustainable Growth Management Plan and the Sustainable Land Development Code. Each of once the plan is adopted, it constitutes an amendment to Santa Fe County's Sustainable Growth Management Plan, specifically for the area that it represents. Community and district plans allow communities to develop land use recommendations and strategies based on the needs of the community. Next slide, please.
Mr. Chair, Commission members, we're not able to sign on to these computers as a planning commission quite yet. We'll get you access to that, but for now, Robert or Nate handed out a hard copy that you can follow along with.
Vicky, all the rest of us have it on our screens. He's the only one that doesn't.
Okay, let me see if we can get IT to...
There it goes. We got it. We're back. We're fine. She fixed it.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. Do you want me to use that?
You, Leroy, are you okay? Okay, we're all fine. Please proceed, Robert. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So I'm not sure if we're all on the same page right now, but basically the 22 community district plan for Tesuque would replace the 2013 community district plan. Staff has worked with the community to develop the plan and to address consistency with the Sustainable Growth Management Plan in accordance with with Section 2.1 of the Sustainable Land Development Code. Section 2.1 of the SLDC does outline the requirements and procedures for community plans that need to be met, which this process has concluded. Next slide, please. The Tesuque Planning Committee is comprised of representatives from the Tesuque Valley Community Association, property owners, residents, and community stakeholders who have met monthly since spring of 2019. The Tesuque Planning Committee has reviewed the existing 2013 plan and have incorporated elements of that plan into the 22 plan and provided updates to the plan to the plan as it exists. As I stated earlier, the 22 plan will replace the 2013 plan and amend the SGMP for the Tesuque Community District. And will also provide a basis for amendments to the Tesuque Community District overlay in the SLDC. Next slide, please. Nate Crail, our community planner, is going to go over the plan elements.
Hello, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. So the district plan, it has 3 sections. The first section is plan context, the second is plan elements, and the last is land use plan. Next slide, please. So the first section is plan context, and it involves both defining the Tesuque Community District. It has the existing land use map, the community vision that was worked on by the planning committee, and identified various challenges and opportunities, including flooding, wildfire issues, the Amit settlement, road safety study, as well as open space and trails. Next slide, please. So the second section is plan elements, and it involves the following categories: agricultural acequias and riparian areas, the Bishop's Lodge corridor and roads, social trails, public access to forest land and trails, fire safety and prevention, community facilities, and water supply and wastewater treatment. Next slide. And for the final section of the plan, it has, for the land use plan, it is the revised land use map, which you see on your right, the land uses, densities, and development patterns, the land use categories to better reflect the 2015 SLDC land use categories definitions, as well as the identified improvement activities, which is at the back of the plan and has various activities that the community identified to improve various land use issues in the community. Next slide. So for the plan adoption process, we've reviewed the plan for consistency with the SGMP, and the determination of consistency by the land use administrator has been completed. We've conducted 2 public meetings in the Tesuque Community District, and those were completed last month. And then we're here at the first public hearing with the Planning Commission. And then if recommended for approval, the next will be at the Board of County Commissioners. Next slide, please. And so we're requesting recommendation for approval to the board of the 2022 Community District Plan to replace the 2013 Tesuque Community Plan adopted by the Santa Fe County Resolution 2012-139. Next slide. All right, any questions or comments? Thank you.
Thank you. Does the commission have any questions of staff? Okay, I do. I have a couple questions. So this is a community district plan. After this goes through, then I would imagine that aspects of it will be incorporated into the county code. Is that how that'll work?
Mr. Chairman, that is correct. Yeah, the community plan, once it's adopted, constitutes an amendment to the SGMP, and it provides the basis for amendments to the Sustainable Land Development Code. There's a Chapter 9 of the SLDC is community district overlays, and this would provide the basis for changes to the Tesuque Community District overlay.
Okay. Okay, does anybody else have any questions?
I have a comment.
Oh, Wendy, please.
Yeah, on page 13, when all the state and federal agencies are listed, I recommend putting in the Army Corps of Engineers Albuquerque District, because anyone that does work below the ordinary high water mark of any of those would require a Corps permit. When I worked for NMED, I had a violation there, and all they needed was a after the fact permit from the Corps. So anyone that works in water, it's just good to know they should contact the Corps.
Mr. Chairman, a committee member, Picard, I'm not sorry, that does sound like a reasonable thing. Yeah, there have been flooding issues, and there are a lot of flooding issues that the community has identified, and to identify the appropriate entities would be appropriate.
Okay, thanks. And the other thing is just it's really great to see the LID parts in there. That they're interested in doing that for stormwater.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any other questions? JJ?
Going to ask you, Robert, I saw the planning committee, it's got about 60 members. Who are the core members of this planning committee, or did they all meet together?
We were meeting, again, so the Tesuque, just to answer your question, maybe the beginning part first, the Tesuque Community Valley Association initially requested that the planning process be established. At that point, we communicated with all property owners in the community, and there has been a core group, but it's not just members of the TCVA. It is community members that have interests in Bishop's Lodge Road. We also included the Bishop's Lodge representatives from Bishop's Lodge Resort as part of the process. We've done outreach to the Acequias as part of the outreach process as well, and they have participated. So it's a wide a wide representation, I think, of the community.
And the members from the Growth Management Department, who are the members from the Growth Management Department that guided the committee to revise this plan?
The lead for that, member Gonzalez, was Lucy Foma. She is currently on leave today. She would have been happy to be here, I'm sure, to complete the work, but she will be here for the board meeting. So she is the lead on this effort, and I've been working with the community as well as to support Lucy. And now our community planner, Nate Crail, has been here for a little while, and we've had previous community planners before that over the last 3 years.
Thank you, Robert.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, I have another one. I was looking on page 47, and yeah, I just want to make a correction on there's a sentence that reads, conditional use, the Sustainable Land Development Code, SLDC, has 3 different categories of regulations: permitted use, administrative approval of a permit application, conditional use, a public hearing process to include hearing officer, and planning commissioner. That should probably be planning commission.
Thank you.
I don't
Noted.
think anyone wants to make that call. Okay, also I saw something in the report about walls and fences, about handling them in different ways, and I'm just kind of curious because why is walls and fences being an issue when in the county you don't need a permit for a wall or fence if it's 6 feet or less, correct?
That is correct for most of the county. Tesuque does have different regulations for fences and walls. So this was a significant part of the discussion with Tesuque. There's some concerns about fences and walls within the Bishop's Lodge corridor and Tesuque Village Road corridor. So a lot of the discussion had to do with trying to address what is the best, most appropriate way to address fences and walls in the community.
And I would be concerned about the possibility of walls or fences across drainage easements as well.
Yeah, there were multiple concerns, including some of the concerns regarding site distance. Again, wildlife corridors. And one of the, again, it relates to the fences and walls are in regard to safety issues for traffic along Bishop's Lodge. So as part of this process, the Tesuque community identified the need for a safety study, which that process has now been initiated. So the county is coordinating with the consultant to conduct a traffic safety study for Bishop's Lodge, for Bishop's Lodge Road and Tesuque Village roads.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. I also, one thing that it's mentioned a little bit is that I have a lot of concerns about are the roadways. Most of the roadways are not, the majority of the roadways in Tesuque are in the 100-year floodplain or in the floodplain. So I would imagine as a result of this study and stuff, that'll all be worked out as it goes along.
There are multiple, flooding issues in the area. The area around Tesuque Village Market. The Arroyo Griego floods regularly. There's flooding issues that occur along some areas. We've met with the schools, and the schools have identified that there's some concerns in those areas as well. So we hope that the traffic safety study will address these issues. We'll identify these issues, and then we'll need to create capital planning to address them in the future.
So does it appear to you that when you were involved in these hearings, were they familiar and did they care about the floodplain issues?
They were concerning about flooding and those kinds of issues. The floodplain is part of the existing conditions.
That's going to be challenging because I remember when I was at the county, Paul and I were having a lot of issues trying to get buildable areas for some of these people because they require setbacks from the floodplain, and the floodplain were the roads. So that's something to take into consideration as well.
Thank you.
And then the last thing I want to say is that I saw it in there in the report about 2 or 3 times, and I loved it. Dry utilities to be underground. Whenever you can get that accomplished, I'm for you 100%. Thank you. Okay, any other questions? Okay, Vicky?
Mr. Chair, just a reminder that Member Cerna is on the WebEx call, and she appears to be muted, so I don't know if she's tried to chime in or anything, but yeah.
Okay, Rhea, you want to speak?
Thank you, Vicky, and thank you, Mr. Chair. No, I don't have any comments or questions, but thank you for acknowledging me.
Thank you. Okay, with all that being said, this is a public hearing. I'm going to open it up to the public for any questions or ideas. Anybody out there?
Mr. Chair, there are members of the community on the WebEx. I'm not sure how you would bring them in, but you may ask to see if there's anybody.
Who did? Oh, who did? Who had their hand raised?
Mr. Chair, I believe that Lynn Pickard is on the WebEx call and would like to speak.
Okay, okay. Lynn, please proceed and get sworn in first.
Ms. Pickard, can you hear me?
I can.
Do you swear or affirm that your testimony will be the truth?
Yes, I do.
And would you also state your address for the record? Hello.
It's 44 Big Tasuki Canyon, 87506.
Please
And
proceed.
if I might start, I am the co-chair of the Tasuki Valley Community Association who initiated this process. And I just want to say that the community is fully supportive of it. And we want to thank Robert and Nate and Lucy and the rest of the county staff who worked with us tirelessly over the past 3 years, including the challenges that we had during the COVID time. And I hope that you all will pass this plan with perhaps a few modifications that I talked to Nate about today. They're minor editorial things, and bring it in front of the county commission. And I'll stand for questions if you have any.
Does anybody have any questions?
Let me just add that we have a mailing list, an email list, which is how we communicate with our community of about, I think at last count, it was 214 names. And we have sent out various drafts of the plan to all people, including a couple of weeks ago, and also notified them of this hearing. And I think that I'm the only person from the community who has appeared. I've had a couple of comments commenting favorably on the plan.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else out there? Any other questions? Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to close the public hearing. Do I have any discussion or any kind of motions from the commission? Frank?
I would make a motion, and my motion would be to recommend to the governing, to the Board of County Commissioners that they approve the 2022 Tasuki Community Plan, and with the several minor editorial and grammatical corrections.
Okay. Being that said, I will second it. I just want to say that I belong to the Agua Fria Village Association, which is a CO, and it has worked out very fine with us. And I'm glad to see this continuing to happen. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Commission. Thank you.
Thank you all. Okay, let's continue. Next is petitions from the floor. Anybody out there? Okay. Communications from the commission members? Anybody else, anybody have any communications? Okay, I do. I have one thing I want to bring up. I've been conducting inspections for the city drainage for a while, and I've been all around different areas of the city, areas where it interacts with the county as well. And I got called into, I was in the area of Rufina Street and Richards Avenue, and I got called in from some people that live in the Casa Rufina apartments. And I went in there to go look to see what's going on with the drainage, and most of the development is on the north part of the property, the apartments, and they have like 2 retention ponds in the open space on the south part. And I noticed for the last month or two, I go out there and the ponds are dry, yet the people that live in the apartments, there must be like 8 to 10 of them, are all running sandbags, and they're digging trenches, and they're getting flooded out, and it just doesn't make any sense. They have this drainage conveyance system in place, and it's not being used, yet the landscaping improvements are being taken care of well. And most of the people that live in this place are elderly, impaired, mental, disabled, emotionally, and retired. And I mean, just when I went in there to go look at it, I just saw sandbags everywhere, and they're trying to protect their houses and the courtyard in that area. And I don't know. I know it's in the county, but I don't know what the county can do anything. I don't know if we're part of the funding of it. It just doesn't seem right for these people. I mean, you should see them out there scattering around trying to put sandbags out there, and half of them don't know what they're doing. And I'm just hoping that maybe we can check into it, and maybe the BCC will want to say something about it as well. Let's see. I did check when I was in there. The houses have canales, and they have a catch basins under the canales. And I took one of the catch basins off, and I stuck my arm in there, and it's all plugged. So it seems like the existing drainage conveyance system that's on site is not functioning at all. So, I mean, again, I don't know what the county can do about it. Another thing I'd say is that at the city, I mean, the county might want to consider coming up with a new ordinance sometime. They might want to consider, the BCC might want to consider making a code where maybe making a code on developments and commercial developments and developments like this, where they're required to maintain their ponds. At the city, we do have that. We go out there and we find some ponds that are not maintained. We'll either tell them about it. If they don't do anything, we'll do it ourselves, and then we'll bill them. So I mean, I just want to bring that to the attention of the commission. Thank you. Okay. Matters. Communication from the attorney.
Mr. Chair, I believe the attorney hasn't been able to join us yet.
Okay. Matters from land use staff.
Mr. Chair, Commission members, I just wanted to give you a quick update in regards to a case that came before the Planning Commission, I believe in July. It was the Hacienda Doña Andrea site development plan where they were doing the wedding events. The applicant did appeal the Planning Commission's decision to the County Commission, and the County Commission overturned the Planning Commission's decision and are allowing them to continue the wedding events through the 2022 wedding season. So I know you've asked for updates on projects that have gone forth to the board, so I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Frank?
Did they allow them to do the full 42 weddings that they had planned, or did they limit it somehow?
Mr. Chair, Commission Member Katz, they did have a few cancellations between the time that the Planning Commission heard it and when it went forward to the BCC. I think right now they have 10 or 11 weddings remaining for the season, and the board did allow them to continue with what was left on their schedule.
Thank you for the update. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Our next regularly scheduled Planning Commission meeting is September 15, 2022. And can I get a motion for adjournment? Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it. And enjoy the Indian market.